Hello and welcome to ZPR, Zanu Project Rethink. My name is Franck Zanu. I'm in the studio once again with a guy, you can't get enough of him, Michael Liebowitz. For those of you who remember, about how many months ago? Was it last year?
It was February 2nd.
Oh, dude.
No,
absolutely.
I only know because it's my friend Carlos's birthday.
I see. Yes, February 2nd, Michael came to the studio with me, and it was really lit. People have enjoyed it. And when we said at the end that we were going to touch on another topic, I have received a lot of comments where people are asking that they want to understand that concept. Michael explains it very well. Sometimes I disagree with him. He said he's back in the studio to educate us on what we should know about objective morality, if I'm right.
I wouldn't have used the term to educate. But,
okay. To explain,
right.
To explain what is objective morality. Those who knows and he knows, now I have a problem with it. So Mr.
Yes.
Liebowitz, Michael, come on. Welcome to the studio.
Good to be back.
Yeah, good to see you again,
Good to be back.
Yes. All right, without further ado, let's hit it, right? So some people, of course, now we have followers from Eastern Europe, and some of them, English is not their first language. What we're going to do is we're going to define each word so that they can understand what we mean, and then we go right in, and I'll leave it to you. So when we finished the episode in February, and as we were discussing, you brought up, you asked me, so do I think there is no such thing as objective morality?
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm not a philosopher here. You are the one with the podcast that is philosophy. So you would be able to tell me. But when I hear the term in English language, objective morality, to me means that there are certain things, actions or whatever it is, that is universally agreed upon to either be immoral or moral. Am I correct?
No. So the problem that I have with what you said is that there has to be agreement upon it, because agreement isn't necessary for a truth proposition, right?
That's correct.
If you and I say, well, the TV's right here, and Amber over there says, no, it's not, we don't then say, oh, I guess the TV isn't here because she says no.
Okay.
And it's the same thing with morality or anything else. It's not contingent on the agreement of people.
Okay.
So that's the main point of difference that I would have with what you just said.
Okay, so then when we say objective, what are we talking about? Objective, the word objective.
What I'm talking about is something that's both true or factual and discoverable by human reason. Just like any other existent or concept, love is discoverable. We can experience it. We can see other people that are in love. Tables we can conceptualize. Morality is no different.
So if I say the sun rises and sets,
Yes.
it's an objective observation,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Nobody ever have a debate saying, no, the sun never rises.
No, people do debate it. Again, see, that's the thing. It's not dependent on whether people debate it or agree. It's dependent on whether it's a fact or not.
Yes, so I'm saying, if I say that the sun rises,
Yes.
it's objective.
Yes.
It's not subjective.
No.
Okay.
Although, I mean, some people might quibble with the term
but
rises.
exactly.
But I get
so
what
if I
you
say
mean.
that the rain falls from above, not from below,
Yes.
it's objective.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we say morality,
Yes.
what are we talking about?
Okay, well, that's a good point. So we have to define our terms, right?
Okay.
Now, it's important to note that whenever somebody says, what should I do? That's the fundamental question in ethics or morality. I'm going to use the term synonymously. There's slight differences, especially in different languages, but in English, for all intents and purposes, they're synonyms. So when someone says, what should I do? They're invoking an ethical question. It's a moral question. That's the question that morality answers. What should I do? So the question then becomes, well, why do we have this question? What should I do? Animals certainly don't ask that question. Reptiles, plants, nothing, inanimate objects definitely don't ask it, but humans do. So why do we ask, what should I do? And the reason we ask what we should do is, well, there's two really, is first of all, we're not born knowing what to do. And second, we know we can choose wrongly. We know we can take the bad action. If I say, well, listen, just fill your oil tank with water, that's what you should do. I'm clearly giving you bad advice because you put the water in your oil tank and your car's going to stall. Your engine's going to seize. So, but we learn from observation. Let me just back up now a little bit. From observation, we learn that Some entities on the planet are inanimate, or even outside the planet. This table, this light, this cup are all inanimate objects. They don't do anything. Their existence is not dependent on anything they can do, and if it is dependent, they can't do anything about it. When we get to living entities, from the single-cell amoeba all the way up to us, you're talking about entities that have to do things in order to maintain their lives, in order to stay in existence, right? So you see animals do this, and you see fish do it. Even plants will tilt their petals toward the sun. They engage in photosynthesis. They absorb water, things of that nature, in order to stay alive. So from that, what is it when we say? Well, first of all, when we see something take action, this is the first sense. Now we're going to define the term value, which is the fundamental concept in morality is value, and that's what it turns on, is whether value is an objective concept or not. So we see all these things acting. So we say, okay, what is it called when an entity seeks something out or tries to get something? And we say, well, it's a value to that thing in the sense of it's pursuing it.
Okay.
Now, every animal other than human beings automatically pursues what's good for it, unless it doesn't have the knowledge or whatever. I mean, it can cease, but it doesn't use intention to go against what is best for it.
You said something. You said beings, human beings,
yes,
that we do things, we do them because it guarantees that we would live, to continue living.
We no, because that's what I'm getting at here. So when we see all these entities acting, including humans, we see that they, one, pursue things. Two, some things that they pursue are good, some things are bad. So we have two senses of value here. The first sense is that which an entity seeks to gain and or keep.
Yeah, that's
that would be a value.
Yes.
But that's value when you get to the human level in the subjective sense, because I can seek to gain and keep things that destroy me, that are harmful. I can do drugs.
So then let's come to the two words now.
Okay, the second
what
sense
would be
of value,
an example of an objective morality?
Well, now that's what we're going to get to. So
all right.
all entities that are living have to act to maintain their lives.
That's correct.
Those things that are good for them, we say that's of value to it. For instance, if you see a shark and you say, well, what's of value to the shark? Well, fish, the water to swim in. If you say what's of value to a bear, same thing, fish, it needs water. You mentioned earlier, in your other show that human beings, we need food, water, shelter. So we know these things that are help maintain our existence, help keep us in existence.
That's correct.
Those things have value. A value being any object or quality desirable as a means or end in itself. So value is an objective term in the sense that any action that you take is either good for you or bad for you.
Okay, so
that's the beginning
of
ethics.
Very good. So my question is, then let's give me a sentence and a certain action that is an objective morality.
Okay, I want to we have to go back a little bit before I do. I'm going to do that for you, but we have to understand that the type of morality that I'm talking about is not the type of morality that's imposed on us from some outside figure, from God, society, community.
Yes.
It's teleological in the sense that if this, then this.
Right.
And it's also contingent on human choice.
Right.
So the human choice to live, once a human being decides, and it's really a de facto choice, right? Because we never consciously say, you know what, I think I'm going to live. We just do it. We take the actions that we think are necessary to maintain ourselves, to enjoy our lives, whatever. So once we make that choice, then the question becomes, well, what should I do if I want to stay alive?
Yes, but what I'm saying
and now, so my thing is, what I would say is, it's objectively moral to use our minds, to use our rational faculty, because that's our fundamental means of
give me
survival.
a sentence so that I have a clear, and then the viewers can have a clear.
No, that's what I'm not understanding, I think.
Say, for example, take any action, any behavior of human beings, and say, this and this, this is something we can describe as an objective morality.
An action that it would be an objective morality is a human being using his mind to think of how to produce something that's going to further his well-being.
Like what?
Well, you could create a business that's going to bring money into your pocket, that's going to allow you to purchase the house, the food, the automobiles, the entertainment.
What is moral in creating a business?
What is moral in it is that, again, you go back to what should I do What is value? A value is any object or quality desirable as a means or end in itself.
So it doesn't matter in any fashion in which I create that business, as long as it answers. Then how?
Because
will it matter the fashion
in
which I create the business?
Of course, because once you get into a broad moral code, you're talking about having an integrated view of life, and one can't contradict the other. For instance, there's people that will do things that it seem to be benefiting them immediately. Like I might say, you know what, I really love bacon double cheeseburgers. they're so good. I'm going to stuff my face with bacon double cheeseburgers. But the fact of the matter is the way in which I'm nourishing myself at that point is undercutting my long-term survival, because it can lead to obesity, cholesterol, high blood pressure.
So that can be an immoral act?
Absolutely.
How?
Because it's harmful to the entity that does it. And the human life is the standard by which to measure moral value.
No, I'm not understanding it. When you say it's objective.
Yeah, it's discoverable.
When you say it's objective, and so the person said, I'll eat double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Okay, what's moral about that?
Any action that a human takes is either good for that person or bad for it. I'm not saying that one double cheeseburger is bad for it.
Who makes that qualification if it's bad for him or her?
And there is the problem.
Yeah.
Right there. Because there's an assumption, and it's a relatively modern assumption, that in order to have ethics, somebody has to decide that what's right and wrong.
Then where does it come from?
It comes from reality.
What is reality? Who agreed upon it that it's reality?
You don't have to
Then
agree.
How do you have a word for it?
Because you discover when you...
No, let me back up. Let me back up. Help me. One, if nobody points to say, yes, if you do X, Y, it's moral or immoral, it's not created by anyone? Nobody says it?
No, it's a factual concept.
How is something factual without a qualification?
What's the qualification?
Meaning that people have to look at it and agree and say yes.
No, they don't have to agree. We already established that, Frank.
Then who started first by saying, wait, who was the first person to say, cheeseburger is not good for you?
I have no idea who the first person to say
Then how did we come to know
because you can study through a process of science and isolation of variables that repeated eating of cheeseburgers is harmful to the human organism.
Well, I just tell for that. That is to do with the human body.
Yes.
But that has nothing to do with morality.
According to whom? Now I'm going to ask you.
Because the definition you gave about morality is that you have to do something, one, it's either good or bad.
Yes.
Okay.
But the question, good or bad, presupposes the question, good or bad, to whom and for what?
That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
And who said which was bad?
And nobody has to say it. It's a fact, Frank. There's things that harm you and there's things that help you. That's factual. Do you disagree, first of all, that there are some things that are good for people and some things that are bad for people?
I don't know. I can't answer that question.
So you can't say that it would be bad for a human being to shoot himself in the head?
No. I can't say that because you are forgetting one thing, which is what I pursue is why.
What you pursue is why what?
I pursue the why the person shot himself in the head.
Okay, but
if you are convinced, if you are told that he shot himself in the head because, wait, Mike, you had a long time I gave you.
No, you're right.
If you were convinced that he shot himself in the head because he knew that if he doesn't kill himself, he will kill many people.
Yeah.
Then?
Okay, you've just introduced something called context. Okay. Obviously, the context matters.
No, I'm asking.
No, I'm answering.
Wait. You said.
I'm saying to you.
If somebody shoots himself in the head, if it is bad or good. You were asking me to choose one, and I'm saying to you, I couldn't say because I am always interested in the why.
Okay.
But if we come to discover that the person was convinced by himself, if I don't shoot myself, I'm going to kill a lot of people.
Okay.
Now, put in morality there for me.
Okay. This is what I'm talking about. And that's my mistake for not introducing the concept of context, right? Because context matters. What you do in a given context. Am I just shooting myself in the head because, is it a mistake, for instance, that I just happened to pick up a gun and shot myself in the head? Or did I do it because I want to save my family? Did I do it because I'm dying of a terminal illness? These questions matter. But those are more broad questions of morality. We're trying to get to, in the beginning, the fundamental, the principle that we can identify. So when you're trying to identify a principle, you take the context aside to say, okay, the principle is that if it's good for a person, all things remaining equal.
So I have made an example.
Yes.
You brought it up, the guy who shot himself.
Yes. And what is it?
If it is revealed to you and I
Yeah.
that he did it to save other lives,
Well, then we would have to alter our assessment of the situation, but it's still a moral or an immoral act.
No. Now tell me, has he acted immorally or morally?
It would depend on the context, Frank.
Then where does morality come in as an objective discussion?
It's an objective fact.
If it is an objective fact,
yeah,
the guy killed himself for a good purpose. He saved many people.
Well, hold on. See what you just said. Stop. So you just said good purpose.
Well,
But how do you evaluate that as a good purpose?
because the people he didn't kill are happy that he took an action that saved them.
But then you are saying right now that morality is a sense of whether they're happy or not.
Oh,
You
I
said
am
it's
just
good.
saying to you, if he came to be relieved, if it was revealed that this man
Yes.
killed himself because he felt, if I don't, I'll kill many people.
Yeah.
The people in his community who heard that he killed himself in order to spare other people, would they say that he took an immoral action?
What I'm saying, it doesn't matter what they say. It's just like, what if somebody says that these two chairs
to
aren't
whom
here?
does his action matter to?
Himself. That's the point of morality.
Hold on.
Okay.
His action matters to himself.
Yes.
In what way?
Because what we
He's
do
not
as
around to
human
experience
beings-
his action.
No,
So how
because
does it
that's-
matter to him?
it
What is
matters
the
because,
value?
Frank.
You said.
Frank, you're taking me so far afield.
No.
from what we're
I'm staying
talking
on
about.
morality as you
Oh,
defined it in the
no.
beginning. You said morality.
Yes.
Anything we can do in order to prolong life, to remain, not to die.
Yes. I
Fine.
didn't say
And then
anything. That's
and
not
you
what
name
I'm
the
saying.
three things: shelter, food, and medicine are necessary
Yeah.
for us to prolong. This man took his life, but it was revealed he did it in order to save members of his
Yes.
community. My question to you, if we are talking about objective morality,
Yeah.
the people who heard that he killed himself to save them,
Yeah.
you're saying it doesn't matter what they think.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, then where is the value?
Because the
To the man who is dead,
no,
what is the value?
Frank, the value it comes in this. All I want to establish, and then we can get into all the hypotheticals you want.
Yes.
Are there things that further human life or harm an individual human life? Are there things that help to keep him sustained and to flourish? And are there things that help to diminish his life and to ultimately lead to his death?
Okay.
Can we agree to that?
I don't think I want to jump to that conclusion
But
yet because you have not given me
but
weight.
that's the premise,
You have
Frank.
not explained it well.
Because
So let me explain it.
Okay, you go ahead.
Why do infants die?
Why do they die?
Yeah.
A variety of reasons. They might be born with congenital defects. They might contract an illness. They might be abused. They might be
So
starving.
it means that nobody has an expiration date stamped on them when they came to this earth. So when do we know when they are supposed to go?
I would reject that question out of hand. What do you mean supposed to go? That implies that there's some entity deciding beforehand.
Oh,
that
that's
you
what I
have
mean. I mean, since we didn't come with an expiration date,
Yeah.
how do we know when we will die?
We don't, but we do know that there's healthy behaviors and
Right.
harmful behaviors.
So if we don't know when, how would we know how we are going to die?
What do you mean? The exact moment we're going to die?
Death is to humans, right? Humans will die.
Humans die, yeah.
That is correct. But we don't come with an expiration date. So we don't know when we're going to die.
No.
If we don't know when we are going to die, how do we know how we will die?
Well, we generally don't unless it's unless we have a fatal illness or a suicide. But why
But even
is that relevant? Why
it's
don't-
relevant because
Why?
Whatever would kill me,
Yeah.
it's just that I will die.
Eventually in life, we're all going to die. Yes.
So why are you introducing
Not-
what would kill me? Either it's good or it's right or bad.
Because it's a fact.
Wait, listen.
Frank, I'm gonna answer
listen,
your question.
If I'm told and I have a clear evidence
Yeah.
that the day I was born,
Yeah.
that I'm supposed to live up to 90,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
And then something cut me short at 60,
Yeah.
I would say something wrong happened.
Okay.
But I don't know how I'm going to go. But nature has made it that we should recycle this population. So people are going to die. So the method, the fashion by which they die, you cannot introduce morality to that.
I can introduce morality into action,
What
not
action?
into accidental death. The fundamental fact, and I don't know why you won't just say it, is that human beings have to take action in order to survive.
Yes.
That's a fact. It's also a fact that there's certain actions that'll help to further that goal and certain actions that will harm that goal.
So if human beings were made to take actions to further their
We
life.
weren't made. You're introducing concepts that aren't
Oh,
relevant.
no, I was just repeating what you said.
I didn't say that. I never said human beings were made.
You said human beings
I said human beings
take actions to further their
that's
lives.
it. That has nothing to do with whether they're made or not.
No,
That's
I
just
didn't say that.
You did say it. You said human beings are made to take action. You literally just said it, Frank.
Human beings take actions to
Yes.
preserve life,
Yes.
right?
Well, not only do we have to.
I understand. That is what I'm saying. Maybe,
Okay.
look, I don't speak English as a first
No,
language,
I
but
got
I
it.
understand.
But I wanna be clear what
I'm
we're
just
talking
repeating
about.
what you said. Human
Yeah.
beings take actions that will prolong life.
Yep.
Okay.
And some of the actions that we take will
So let me,
shorten our lives.
yeah, let me ask you, why would then, if I know that I need to take actions that would prolong my life, why do I take an action that will shorten my life?
Well, it could be ignorance. You just
Oh,
don't
wait,
know.
wait. Explain ignorance.
Ignorance. You might not have knowledge of what it is. that's
Exactly.
going to
So
keep
then
you
where
alive.
does your choice come in if I don't have the
No,
knowledge?
you're absolutely correct. That's why we have to seek out the knowledge. Human knowledge is
No.
always
Hold on there. You're
expanding.
you're jumping hard ahead of me. You said something that is correct. I ask you. Let me repeat a question so that the audience can hear it. Objective morality.
Yeah.
Humans have to do things to prolong life.
Yeah.
Clear. Okay. Then why would somebody do something that will harm his life?
Okay.
You said
Again,
because of ignorance.
I said that's one reason. Sure.
That's one reason.
Yeah,
Ignorance.
That's one reason. Yeah.
And I asked you
Yeah.
to define ignorance. You
And
said
you
the
said
lack of
no.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, if there's lack of knowledge, then how does the person have a choice?
Does the person? What do you mean? How does the person have a choice to take the correct action? Is what you're asking me in that
In the
situation?
absence of knowledge,
You-
how can I make a choice?
No. Well, you can make a choice. It might be not a helpful one, but you can
No.
still choose
In the
something.
absence of information,
Yeah,
knowledge, how can I make a choice?
Well, that's why information. It's essential that we pursue information.
Until
Frank.
I get that information, how can I make a choice?
If you don't know the right, if it's not in your purview, right? If you cannot know what the right thing to do is, then there's no moral culpability there. But it's-
Without the knowledge, how can I make a choice?
well, you still, no matter what, you're going to decide something, even if it's just you decide.
Without what, I'm going to decide something. That
Yeah.
something is the only thing I know. So
Yeah.
where can you introduce wrong or right to that thing?
What I would say is that
Yeah.
morality has to do with human
No.
choice.
I'm staying on. This thing has
Yeah.
to do with the choice we discussed earlier.
somebody
and you have
doesn't
helped
know,
me
if
come
you-
to this
Frank,
point.
if you can't
Without
know-
knowledge, I cannot have a choice.
No, if you don't, if you cannot have the requisite knowledge in order to make a given choice, then you're not morally culpable for that choice. I don't have an issue with
You
that.
said it. Ignorance is the lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Without knowledge, how can I make a choice?
But the question becomes then too, you have to understand, is this willful ignorance or is it ignorance because you couldn't know? Like, for instance, if you were living in
Now you have to say ignorance that you're talking about. There is one thing called willful. And so why would
Yeah.
somebody willfully ignore a knowledge he knows is important for the prolongation of his life?
why do people do that?
Yeah.
One reason is immediate gratification.
Huh?
Immediate gratification.
For what?
Because people, like myself,
Don't
for
you see it
instance-
now? Immediate gratification.
Yeah.
Could he have thought that that was so necessary and important, the value in it, which you said earlier?
Could he have?
Yes.
Well, the question isn't could. We're talking about does he?
No,
And
no.
people do things all the
Willful
time.
ignorance, you call it.
Frank, you just
So
changed the
somebody,
subject. This
no,
is
no, no, no,
maddening.
no.
You
It's
just
the
changed
same.
the
I'm just
subject.
defining the things you said. Willful ignorance. For someone who knows, according to you, he has to do the right things to prolong his life.
Yes.
And I'm just simply trying to understand, why would that person willfully ignore fundamental things that would prolong his life? You said,
There's a lot of reasons. Maybe he doesn't think life's worth living. Maybe he doesn't want to put forth the effort. Maybe
do you know why this man would think life is not worth living?
There could be abundance of reasons.
One reason would be what?
Well, it could be a situation where he's got stage 4 bone cancer, for instance, if there's even, I don't know if it's stages work in bone cancer, but if he's got end-stage bone cancer.
How would you know when a man thinks that his life is not worth living?
I don't know what the
No, would you
specific
ever
guy
know when
thinks.
any man thinks that life is not worth living? Would you ever know?
If he commits suicide, then I know it, yeah.
How?
Because he's action showing.
The man just told you he committed a suicide to save the community.
Yeah.
So
his life in that circumstance was not worth living.
how
to him.
worthy would his life be if he go rampant killing people serially anyway?
What?
What worth is there to his life if he didn't kill himself and he killed many people?
That's the situation he's in. So to him in that situation, it's not
No.
worth living.
My conclusion is this. And we use the terms. Somebody use a term.
Yeah.
Okay?
What term?
Objective morality.
Okay.
Somebody use a term. He or she could be having a certain experience at a certain time and think, if we all thought this way, that way, I wouldn't be in this traumatic situation. Human beings are supposed to have. Maybe that is the person's thinking. We hear words and we go to first thinking. I'm sure you've read Daniel Kahneman. We go to first thinking. It's right. Let's stick to it. But now in this discussion, I am telling you, first, we couldn't tell why a person would think that his life is not worth living. Number two, those who know, and humans know that, I have to do things only to prolong my life. If somebody then takes an action that is detrimental to his life, then we have to question. We can't go to the end point. It's immoral that you did things that ended your life. In whose value is the death of this man moral or immoral?
Why are we starting off in the equation that you're talking about with what is it moral for somebody else to do? Fundamentally, I'm worried about morality because I have to know what I'm going to do. I need to know how I'm going to live. What is going to benefit me? What actions can I take that are going to further my life, help me flourish, help me prosper, help me be happy, help me cultivate good relationships? My fundamental worry is not whether somebody...
Why are all these things important to you?
It's important because when you start back to the original
why
question...
Why are all these things you just listed important to you?
Because I just told you. Because I have to take action in order to keep myself alive. Why is it important? Because I want to live. And that's why I said at the beginning...
Why do you want to live?
All of morality...
Why do you want to live so bad when you don't know when you're going to die?
What does that matter? I don't know when I'm going to die. So what? Why?
That is the only reason.
What is the only reason?
Because you don't know when you're going to die.
That's why I want to live?
That's correct.
No, I want to live because I enjoy life and I want to avoid death. I know I'm going to die, Frank. I don't know when.
You just said it. I don't know when I'm going to die.
No.
If we were told when we're going to die, all these things you said would not matter. You see, listen.
You're saying, hold on, can I ask a quick question? Mm-hmm. Are you saying that if it was predetermined that we were going to die on a given date, then these things wouldn't matter?
Of course it wouldn't matter.
I agree with you, but that's not the reality of the situation.
Then where is the morality?
What?
What is the morality based on what you said earlier? Hold on, let me explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where is the morality based on what you said? That the morality is in the value of why I'm doing things so I can prolong my life. There's no value in it.
I didn't say that. I said life is the standard by which you measure whether something is good for bad.
Yes.
If it furthers my life, it's of value. If it harms my life, it's not.
That is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So, if you know when you're going to die, then you know when you're going to die. All these things you said, which you said, I do it because I want to prolong my life. When you know when you're going to die, why would you do anything to prolong your life?
Well, that's all you're asking me, Frank, is if reality was different than it actually is, what would the concepts be that we would form? The fact of the matter is I don't know when I'm going to die.
That is why you're doing all these things.
The fact of the matter is that I have to act in order to survive, in order to maintain my existence.
Yes.
I want to maintain my existence because I like life.
I'm trying to explain, Mike, that we got to understand the base for our actions. It's all I'm trying to tell you. The things you mentioned are all necessary because we don't know when we're going to die.
Okay.
Okay?
I would say, can I just alter? I would say they're necessary because we're going to die.
Why?
Because we have to. Why do you eat in the morning, or why do you eat in the day? Why do you live in a house? Why do you do these things? All to survive. It's because we know that we're going to die, and we know that our actions are necessary to keep us alive.
I said it earlier. We know we are going to die. The most depressive part of it is you don't know when. And because you don't know when, you just have to say, look, I don't know when. So let me do things necessary. Let me do things that are important to keep me alive. But if you are given a stamp to say you're going to die, then no matter what I do, I'm going to live up to that date.
Right.
Then these things would not happen at all.
You're absolutely right.
You're doing these things because you want to feel like, I don't know, so let me prolong it as long as it can go. So anyone, and you're totally wrong to say that morality, what it should be and what it should not be, should not come from other people. It just came from these people who knew that this man took his life to save us. They gave him some value.
Wait a second. Okay, first of all, I want to say that I agree with you.
You cannot say that morality didn't come from anywhere. How can you say that?
I didn't say it didn't come from anywhere.
Then where did it come from?
I said it's not bestowed on us by other people or from outside by other beings. It's a reality.
There is no reality unless somebody pointed to it, Mike.
That's absolutely false.
Give me an example.
Of the reality, but if no one points to it?
Yeah.
Prior to human beings ever pointing at anything, dinosaurs existed. That was a reality.
No, I'm saying, give me a reality.
I just did.
That nobody pointed to.
Your question is...
No. Stick to that question, please.
Well, I
Give me an
can't- hold on.
example of a reality nobody pointed
Frank,
to us.
you just asked two separate questions.
No.
You did. I'll tell you what they are. Your first statement was there's no reality if someone didn't
that
point
is the same
to it.
thing.
It's not the same thing.
all right. So
because
let me...
obviously the only way that I can know anything is if either I observed it myself or somebody else told me. But that doesn't mean that what exists is dependent on them telling me or
Yes, it
dependent on
is.
me knowing.
So I said,
No,
give
it's
me an
not.
example of something, a reality nobody pointed.
No, you said give me an example of a reality that somebody didn't have to point out.
Yes.
Yes, and what I'm saying is the reality that dinosaurs existed or that planets existed before human beings.
How do you know
That's a
dinosaurs
reality.
existed?
I know because we've learned it. I know it because someone discovered it and told me.
Hold on there.
But that doesn't mean
Hold
it
on
didn't
there.
exist before
Hold
that.
on
Frank.
there. Somebody told you.
Yeah, that
So your
doesn't-
knowledge was based on somebody who said dinosaurs existed. Let me hold on,
knowledge,
please,
yes.
please.
My knowledge, yes.
And you took what he said.
Yeah, my knowledge, yeah.
Wait. You accepted what he said. He told you dinosaurs existed.
I didn't just accept it, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
He gave the name dinosaur. He discovered, he drew the size and their behaviors. That's how you came to that knowledge.
Well, I came to that knowledge.
I
a lot
was
of people have
asking
studied it.
you to point to a reality that nobody pointed to us. And you just gave me
But
an
Frank,
example of a...
no, I didn't.
Can
That's
I-
not true.
You just
Frank.
used dinosaurs.
Frank, what you're saying.
Okay,
you-
give me
Frank,
give me an
let
example
me
of a
just tell you
reality nobody pointed
that
to
I
us.
can't do that because,
Exactly.
but that doesn't mean there's no reality unless someone
You
points
cannot-
to it. That's what you said. Unless someone points at
Yeah,
it,
that's
there's no
true.
reality.
Yes.
That's different than saying, give me an example of a reality you know that nobody pointed to.
It's
I can't tell you what I don't
example of
know.
you don't know anything nobody told you.
Well, that's not true. I know things that nobody
Name
told
one.
me. When I was driving here with my windows down and I was sweating my ass off. Nobody told me that. I experienced it
But
firsthand.
how did you know the word?
Well,
No, Michael, calm down. I told you on Zippia, all I do is question things people tell me.
Yeah.
How did you know that the thing happened to you was sweating?
Okay.
No, please.
I'm going to answer you. You want
No,
me to?
you're not going to answer.
Of course I'm going to answer.
Okay,
Of
go
course
ahead.
I'm going to answer. You're asking me how do I know the words? I know the words because I was taught them. But I knew the experience, whether I had
I
words
didn't
for
ask
them
you
or
for an
not.
experience. I said, tell me something you know nobody told you.
And I knew what was happening. I knew
Sweating.
that I didn't know.
How did you know the word sweating?
You don't, Frank. You're conflating two things.
Yes,
here,
I am.
epistemologically.
I am.
You're
Everything you
conflating-
describe in that car, you only came to know that this is what is happening to me because somebody had told you. Wait, please. Somebody have told you. If you begin to have wet armpits, you are sweating.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you couldn't have explained to me what happened to you.
that's true.
Okay.
But would I still have
So I'm back
experienced
to
it?
my question. Point to a reality nobody has pointed
Frank,
to us.
that's not
Including
relevant.
morality,
Frank,
it's something.
You have to learn it. This is not relevant. You're conflating two things.
I leave it to the public to decide.
Okay, I will because you're
Yes.
conflating epistemology and metaphysics.
Which
two
is?
separate things. Metaphysics is all of existence. Epistemology is how we come to know existence.
Yes.
So what I'm saying to you is that metaphysically there is an existence whether we identify it or not.
Right.
But in order for me to identify it, I either have to observe it directly or have somebody else tell me. The metaphysical
Give me an
facts-
example of something you observed directly.
I just told you, driving in the car by myself.
But I
observed it
asked you, how
directly.
did you know that what happened to you was sweating if you were not told? And you said somebody told me that when I have that condition, I'm sweating.
But you're talking here. You're talking about words. That's the difference. That's where it's epistemology. You're saying, how do you identify this conception?
So let's
How
say
do
if you
put
didn't have the
words on
word,
it?
if you didn't have the word sweat,
Yes.
let's just take that for example.
Okay.
Please describe what happened to you.
If I don't have words to describe it,
No,
I can't.
if you didn't-
If I can't describe what happens if I don't have words, it doesn't mean it's not happening. Does a baby sweat?
That doesn't mean it's not happening.
Does a baby sweat?
I don't know.
Well, babies do. We can observe
But you
it.
just used a word to describe
hold
it.
on. Can a mute person, Helen Keller, before she learned to read and write, would she be sweating? Could she sweat? Of course
Who
she
is
could
describing
sweat.
who is describing
No,
the
that's
thing?
that's your assumption is that somebody has to explain it in order for it to be happening, and I'm
But
saying that's
who
not
gave
true.
the name to that experience, sweat?
I don't know who put the word on it, but it's the experience is still there, Frank.
Look, you're trying to make me understand that things happen. I'm trying to let you know knowledge about what happened is something somebody informed us.
Knowledge is definitely, yes, knowledge is something we have to learn. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I have come to learn that
I didn't disagree with that.
That this thing that happened to me all the time is that I am sweating, including the person even told me what it meant. That if my temperature rises and the temperature outside is different, I'm going to perspire, and that is sweating.
Yes.
Simple. I know you're not going to be able to point to me any reality in the world that nobody told you.
Of course you can't point to
Then I ask you for an example.
Because Frank, again, I don't know how many times I can state this. You're talking about two separate
You said
things.
dinosaurs, which somebody told you. Morality is just like sweating. Somebody described an action that he or she requires of everyone because, like you said, he or she wants to prolong her life. That's it. But you are never interested in the why the person did it.
I'm always interested
slap
in the
it
why.
with good or bad.
That's
and
false.
I'm telling you,
That's false.
that is what is
That's
making the
false.
problems we live in.
That's, first of all, it's false because at the very beginning I told you that first thing we have to do is identify the principle, then we need to identify the context. The why is part of the broader context. Secondly, you say problems. So if you first tell me that
Does
you're
the
just...
why
Okay,
change?
hold on. You're telling me you're just asking questions, but then you've identified something as problems. If you've identified something as problem, you're not just asking questions, you're making an evaluative statement, which implies a moral judgment that
The
you're not going to
problem
admit
is
that
the
you
answer
do.
you're giving me. It's what I'm questioning.
Why is it problematic?
Oh, because I want to understand it. The problem is anything we want to have a solution for. So when I call it problem, doesn't mean necessarily that it's bad. The pursuit of knowledge is problem. You want to solve it. Hunger is a problem. You want to solve it. Let me ask you something. Flight or fight, is it a response or a choice?
The flight or fight mechanism or what we actually do?
No, the flight or fight mechanism. Is it a choice or a response?
No, we do not have the choice whether or not we have a flight or fight mechanism. We do have a choice whether we flight or fight or whether we just stand still. We do have a choice how we respond to it. Yeah, we don't have to do what the flight or fight mechanism tells us to do. No, we don't.
So the chemical that is released in your body is all useless.
I didn't say it was all useless.
Well, then where does the choice come in if the chemical...
They send you signals, Frank. But I want to get back to the
Mike. Now that is really mind-boggling. So this whole psychological phenomena of your body telling you, you're saying, yeah, forget about the chemical that has been released and the signal it gave me.
Sure.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It
doesn't
matter.
I didn't say it doesn't matter.
So I'm asking, is flight or fight a response or a choice?
And I answered you that the mechanism flight or fight
It's a response.
it's a physical biological response.
Okay.
What we do with it
Who's we?
is a choice. Any individual that's acting.
What will make you do something with it?
What would make me do something with it?
Just the legs you have or the brain that is already affected.
It could be the values
So
that I've
you're telling
adopted,
me,
all types of things.
if I pinch you here, you know that there is nothing happening here. It's the central nervous system telling your brain something is going wrong. Am I right or wrong?
Well, something's happening here, but yeah, in essence, you're right. It sends a signal to my brain that tells me what's happening.
But
Sure.
you can decide to make a choice if to agree something is happening or not happening.
No, I can decide whether I want
So
to
why do
hit
you move
or I
our
want
hands
to
from
run.
the hot plate? We make a choice.
No.
No. After the signal is given to you that this is a hot... Well, okay. So let me, so I can understand you. First, you accidentally put your hands on a hot plate.
Yeah.
Then the signal came, flight or fight.
No.
Wait.
That's not fight or flight. So I'm not going to let you get away with it. No.
Wait. So, would you have a signal that there's a hot plate?
Yes.
Okay, after that, you can make a choice to keep your hands there or not.
No. Well, I mean, some
Will you-
people
will you
could.
pull it off?
I couldn't. For me, it would be a reflex. But that's not fight or flight. I'm not saying to you there's no such thing as reflexes, Frank. I'm not saying there's no such thing as situations where somebody doesn't have a choice.
No.
I'm not saying that. I've never said that.
So the only area you want to disagree is that one you said, which I don't think I will be able to understand it. Morality. Nobody pointed to anything. Nobody created it.
No, I didn't say, Frank, I don't know. First of all, I'm coming back to the same problem.
You said it.
I'm coming
that
back to the same
morality
problem.
didn't come from any authority, religion,
Yes.
culture, nothing.
Yes, I'm saying that is true. Now, facts,
Where did it come from?
Now, it's like saying, where did the sun come from? Where did the sun come from?
It's the sun.
Okay, it's morality. Where did the moon come from?
It's the moon.
Okay, where did mountains come from?
Somebody looked at it and told us the behavior of the sun and everything.
That's true.
So you're saying something that requires human experience and the stimulus and my encounter and my trauma and my everything in a man's life. No one said, if you do this, it's wrong or right. Then how did society decide to punish?
That wasn't what I said. And whether society decides to punish, because societies can punish you for the wrong reasons. I mean, there's societies that sacrifice children. There's societies that stone women for having sex premaritally. They punish them.
Who said that? You said wrongly.
Yeah.
Societies can punish people wrongly.
Yeah.
Who said it was wrong?
Again, they don't have to say it. I just answered. They don't have to say it's wrong.
But who is saying it now?
Well, I'm saying it.
Okay,
but that doesn't make it so.
No, I know. You just described the stoning of women for fornication, whatever, as wrong. Right?
Yeah, I think it's wrong.
So if I ask those people who made these moral qualification on you stoning women as being wrong, they say Mike.
Yeah, I don't know if they would know that, but...
Well, I'm saying if you wrote a book,
okay,
they will say Mike.
Okay.
So isn't that coming from you to describe what they do in their own culture?
Yes, I've described
it does. So why do you say that
Frank,
morality doesn't come from anywhere? Not religion, not culture, not traditions, not customs, nothing.
What I'm saying,
it just exists.
Frank, it's the same thing. If you tell me the sun's there, I say, oh, well then you brought the sun. No, you've told me information about the sun. You've communicated about the sun, but you didn't create the sun. It's the same thing.
I can see the sun.
Yeah. You can see actions. We can see that some actions...
I can see the sun. Not all actions are qualify as morality. I need to know the why. That's what I told you. You don't want to answer yet. That why that drives people to act is what destroys the whole foundation that there should be such a thing as objective morality. I do not. Let me repeat. The why, which differs from one person to the other. The response people have towards hunger is in different degrees. Yeah. Now, for us to reject the why.
Who's rejecting the why?
You are rejecting the why.
I've never rejected the why.
Because you said morality just exists. And you describe some people's cultural behavior as wrong using a moral qualification.
Yeah, that doesn't mean the why is irrelevant. I never said the why is irrelevant. Again, I said at the very beginning, context matters. The why is part of the context. The very nature of morality entails making a decision. Why is part of the context, then you cannot make any moral judgment on these people. Sure,
because you will go to the why. It held their society together. Is that good enough for you?
No, it's not.
That's you.
Well, you asked me, so I gave you the question.
We did things. We did. It doesn't mean you cannot change and re-look at things differently.
No, of course you can.
You are a white man. You live in the United States of America, a Westerner. There are cultures outside you that you have never seen and experienced. Number two, you would not even know what drove people to do the things they did in order for the preservation of their community, their lifestyle, their culture, or even to keep some enemy at bay. You just made a moral declaration on it.
Well,
it's wrong.
Hold on, no. Well, first of all, I wouldn't make a moral declaration on people that I didn't
know
anything about. No, I didn't.
You said somewhere in Africa they stone women to death.
I didn't mention Africa at all.
Middle East.
I didn't even mention there. I said there's some cultures where they do it.
You would have said in my culture we do it.
In my culture?
In some cultures, meaning outside your culture. No?
Sure, but that doesn't mean it's in Africa or the Middle East.
Okay, fine.
I'm not even...
That's fine. Okay. But you've just done that, and that's all I was trying to lead to say. Somebody observe somebody else's behavior and say, nah, we're not going to accept those.
So what? That's not
relevant. So that is where the objective morality.
Objective morality comes, again,
but I am not going to have even a discussion about objective morality during the Ethiopian famine, where a kid got his food to eat. You can have your Western values and cultures all intact with objective morality as to why you should not take somebody else's food to eat, but I will not bring that to Ethiopia, my friend.
So don't.
It stops at your doorstep.
It does not.
And that is where the discussion came from.
It doesn't stop at my doorstep. That's false.
Then who is enforcing it?
Reality enforces the fact. And I don't like the word enforces because reality doesn't really enforce. But the fact of the matter is that some actions and some things are good for a person and some are bad for a person.
Is there such thing as immorality?
Of course. Of course, but context matters.
Where did they get that from?
Again, it doesn't matter where. You're saying where do they get it, as if they have to go out and find it and get it. Where again, now I'm realizing something.
If you're growing up in a family somewhere in Africa,
Okay.
how would this child come to know what this large community here agrees as to be moral or not?
Oh, well, that's a different question, Frank.
Which question are we dealing with here?
The question is, first of all, does morality exist? That's the first question. Now you're talking about, does objective morality exist? That's the main question we're supposed to address. Now, there are different moral theories, there are different moral ideas that are transposed from, what's the word I'm looking for here? That are passed on from parents to their children, from broader cultures to people within them. You have the Christian morality, Muslim morality, Buddhist morality, Hindu morality.
Which one is not that?
What do you mean?
Which other morality is not the one you are describing? It's always passed down.
Well, it's passed on. I mean, people learn it, and you can learn it from somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
But that doesn't mean that...
Which one is not passed on?
That doesn't matter. The question is...
Then which one are you expecting me to understand?
I just told you. I've told you
I
many
only
times.
understand the morality that was passed down to me.
Hold on, but that's not my fault. What you understand is
there
not
is
my
some
fault.
other morality that you know that was not passed on.
I didn't say it wasn't passed on.
Then where did it come from?
Frank, whether it's passed on or not, it does not mean that means that people created it. That's the thing. You can disperse knowledge. You can pass knowledge around from person to person. That doesn't mean that the facts that are identified by the knowledge...
How is that knowledge passed on?
People pass knowledge on to each
How?
other. But ultimately, you have to then learn it for yourself.
Yeah, how is it passed on?
It's passed on from person to person.
In what way? What medium?
Could be talking, could be on the radio, could be on the television, could be in a book.
Now, when you pass on a certain morality, why should I believe that the morality you're passing on to me is the right one?
Well, you shouldn't just believe it because I say it. What you should do, as you do with everything else, what you do, you have a project Rethink, is rethink it, examine the facts.
Where will I examine it?
Well, you can examine your own experience.
No, where will I examine?
you.
My own experience.
That's one
Then it
thing.
becomes subjective right there.
No, it doesn't.
Well, on that note, Michael,
No,
it becomes
not.
subjective. I will examine it based on my own experience.
Hold on. So you can't be objective about your experience?
No.
You absolutely can.
Give me an example.
If I put my hand on a stove, it burns my hand. That's an objective fact. My hand has been burned. I've been objective about a fact that happened to me.
You call that's what you call objective and subjective?
That is what objective is.
I am asking, who passes on?
But you're assuming. Here's the question.
Oh, okay, it's not passed on.
That's
so
the question.
what is the medium
I
by
didn't
which people
say-
learn it?
Frank, again, I want to go back because we have to. Tell me the difference. Tell me, in your view, the difference between metaphysics and epistemology.
I don't know.
Okay, but that's vital to the discussion that we're having.
I see. I know you would use words to. I wouldn't bring that.
but-
Even the fact that there is
You don't need to
metaphysics,
know the
which is the
words.
existence of the entire universe, and then the elements in it. I am just simply asking you to break it down because I know you read it thoroughly. I'm asking you.
but-
Wait, I'm asking you if something just exists.
Yeah.
Then please help me. There must be a medium through which I come to know about it. What is a medium?
The medium by which you come to know about anything is the five senses, ultimately.
See, hear, taste, yes.
Yeah, that's how you come to know things.
Morality is abstract. I'm asking about abstract things.
Those
Those are based on knowledge, you
But
said.
the way that you come to know is any abstract concept.
If
I'm
something
going to answer you.
No, if something exists just
Yeah.
by itself, it is not.
Yeah.
You said it's not passed on; it just exists.
I didn't say it's not passed on.
Okay, what is the medium by which I'll come to know about it?
And
In the case of
the
objective
medium,
morality,
the medium by
yes.
which you would come to know about it are your five senses and your rational mind.
Tell me, which of the five senses do I use to observe objective morality?
All of them.
Give me an example.
Well, you know, again, what harms you, I mean, you could smell something, it smells bad, or you could burn your nostrils.
I'm saying,
you can touch something and burn yourself.
morality.
Yeah, and all morality answers is the question, what should I do? It's not a mystical idea. It's not something that it's like you're going to be punished by somebody if you behave immorally. All morality is.
No kidding.
All morality is.
So what stops people from behaving immorally, if not because of punishment?
Well, plenty of people behave immorally. So even that doesn't stop it, even if they're going to be punished. But the question is, human beings have to figure out what to do, how to live. I have to ask, what should I do? That's a question of morality. The question of value is the very entity, the very idea that gives rise to the concept of something being good or bad is life, because life is the only entity on Earth that is conditional. Its existence is conditional on its actions.
Yes,
so that's why you have
everything you've explained is true.
But that's all morality is.
No.
You're disagreeing that that's morality.
No, I'm only interested in one thing, and I have tried hard to get that thing. And okay, fine, you didn't give it to me. I will say, every knowledge I possess, somebody told me. Period. Please.
Okay.
I gave you the last stop.
Oh, go ahead.
Every knowledge I possess, somebody told me.
Okay.
Now, there comes personal experience that would happen to me, and I may begin to rethink or look at that knowledge differently. However, first and foremost, somebody gave it to me. And if somebody gave me everything I know on this earth, well, then the person also may be the one who is telling me that it is an objective morality I need to. Okay, I will try. But my failure is not based on the fact that it is something that just existed, and without any medium or media, I was able to understand it, and I'm trying hard to follow it. It was given to me. And it was given to me based on also what is valuable to that person, without any consideration for my condition.
Are you saying...
That's why I reject it totally.
Okay, here's my question for you. Are you saying that the only way that we can have, that we learn, right, ultimately, as we're coming up from kids, that we learn, the only way we gain knowledge, not just about morality, but about anything, is by being taught, in essence. But once we're taught some things, then we can learn some things for ourselves from own personal experience? Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, what we're learning are facts. I mean, we could be mistaken, but there are facts that exist. Things exist independent of what we think about them.
Okay.
That's all. That's what I'm saying. So I think we're in agreement there.
No, we're not. For me, the only facts that I always want to talk about, not necessarily because I understand them, I agree with them, is facts. Informations experimented in a closed, contained environment called laboratory, and then give it to man. I don't argue with them.
That's the only facts?
That's it. Otherwise, because it can be repeated. It can be repeated, and it's observable.
Okay, so if it's not discovered by the scientific
I think we are way past. No, then yes.
Okay,
then
so the scientific method is what you're saying.
That's correct.
Okay, well, we're going to agree to disagree again. And
then we'll come back to this studio again,
we
as
can do
always. I enjoy every time.
And hopefully next time my wisdom teeth aren't killing me.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, ZPR, don't forget to subscribe, please. It helps me a lot, and I'm sure you all enjoyed this conversation. Leave your comments. Tell us what you need to hear from me and Mike, because he's a philosopher. Your name of your podcast again, please.
I actually host two podcasts.
Yes.
One is The Rational Egoist.
That's correct.
And the other is, on a daily basis, I host a podcast with Mark Pellegrino, the actor. We host The Capitalist Corner. It's live every day, 12 Eastern, 3 Pacific on YouTube.
Keep that and look it up. Thank you so much for coming in.